We start this way. All right, bet. All right, so welcome to our podcast once again. My name is Davion Robinson. I'm the president of the Black Student Union. We're going to go around the table, do a couple introductions. Start off on this side of the table.
I'm Samaya Gray. I'm a lead at BSU. I'm a junior, and I've been a member since 2021.
My name is Michael Holden. I am an honorary member of BSU. I was here last year when we started.
My name is... Okay, sorry guys. My name is Kiana Kramer, and I'm in 11th grade, and I'm an OG BSU member, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My name's Haley Webb, and I am the Academy Principal at CASE of Computer Science, Education, and Technical Services, and this is my first year at CASE.
My name is Sine Brown, and I'm a junior, and I've been a part of BSU since the first meeting.
Okay. Yeah, Jay.
My name is Jason Capo. I'm a lead at BSU for CASE, and I've been here since the beginning.
All right, sure. All right. So let's start with our conversation. And so we're going to talk about some tough topics today with Kiana and Miss Webb. And Sine. We're going to talk about being biracial in America. So we're going to start on this side this time. All right. And so what do you identify as in race?
I am black and white, but I personally identify as black.
Okay. Miss Webb?
I am half black and half white, and I identify as an African American woman.
I am white and African American, and I identify as both.
Okay. Thank you. And so, were you ever like called names or like kind of disrespected in any kind of way while you were maybe growing up in high school, middle school, any of that? I'm gonna start right here.
Me personally, not necessarily, and I'm grateful for that.
Okay.
So as I was growing up, I'm just trying to think of a few different scenarios just to give people a little bit of a glimpse. But some of the struggles that I went through when I was younger was sometimes kind of figuring out where I belong. People are not always accepting of you because people might think that you should be acting, let's just say, like I got this a lot, like you're not acting black enough. You're not acting a certain way that people think that you should be fitting in a certain box. So there was a lot of times where I don't 100% know why, but there were different times where students or other kids at the time wanted to start altercations or fights with me because I wasn't acting a certain way that they thought I should be presenting myself. There are different times where I had some friends that were parents didn't exactly like people who were not white. So I didn't fit that box either. So it was kind of a lot of being in the middle of not 100% knowing where I belong or who's going to accept me. But over time, I realized, it doesn't really matter what other people think because I know who I am on the inside. I'm Haley Webb. I'm both black and I'm both white, and that's part of who I am. So that was like a shorter version of things, but I don't want to just keep talking forever. So
Appreciate that.
I can resonate a lot with Miss Webb because I have also been in situations where I felt like if I wasn't black enough or I wasn't white enough, I wouldn't, fit the stereotype of the group. Or like in my family, my black side of my family thinks that I'm too white. My white side of my family thinks that I'm too black. So neither sides are really like in my life because of my race, which one, I didn't choose, and two, I wouldn't change whether or not they were there or not. I've also been called a few names in school, half-breed, mulatto, and they don't bother me as much anymore. But I think like in the moment when you're not used to being called something like that, or you take it as like an offensive term because of what you've been taught, it can be taken in multiple different ways. And I feel like it's something that a lot of people should learn, maybe like the actual true meaning behind it. Like same with like the N-word and all that. Like there's deeper meanings behind it than just an offensive term.
Thank you. That was good. I appreciate that. And so, let's go back to like the family thing. All right, is your family like kind of, you know?
Well, from my childhood, I grew up around my black side of the family because I've lived very close to them. And my mom, she's my white parent. She doesn't really have a close relationship with her family. So I haven't really grown up around a lot of white people.
Okay. What about you, Miss Webb?
In terms of family, I would say that I'm closer to my mom's white. My dad was black. He passed away about 5 years ago. My mom's side of the family, they lived in Racine. They were around more. I was really close to my grandma on my mom's side. My dad was from Kenosha. My dad's side of the family, they're very, I feel like, they're very big in the church. All my uncles and aunts are pastors and bishops and have churches and everything. And I kind of feel like that to them, that's first a lot of the time. And maybe like connecting with family, I've always kind of felt disconnected. And they're right in Kenosha. I kind of feel like as a kid, I wish that they would try to have connected with me more. It's honestly just a little sad. So I wish that there was more there. I do talk to my grandma. I've been visiting her more lately. She's my only grandparent still alive, so I wish there was more of a connection, and even though it's quite later in life, at least me as an adult is trying to help bridge that.
Mm-hmm. For sure, thank you.
So I live with my mom, who is white, so I don't really have a really big connection with the black side of my family, and my mom doesn't talk to any of her side of the family, so it's just my immediate household, which is just my mom, my sister, and her boyfriend, and his 2 kids. So, yeah.
Uh-oh, can I steal this? Oh, my bad. Am I going to be welcome back to the podcast, or I'm kicked off? We're going to go viral, though. We're going to go viral. So I got a question for all of you that are identify as biracial. I salute you. I think sometimes as hearing, as in different roles in different rooms I'm in, I hear stories of people that are biracial that aren't black enough to fit with the black crowd, aren't white enough to fit with the white crowd. What would you say to our younger you? So if you were a younger you, knowing that those struggles that you've already faced today, what would you say to our younger you or to one of our younger listeners that's listening? Like, how do you encourage them to not get discouraged? Because, sometimes not just to change the subject, sometimes as educated African Americans, we get the same thing. Like, you sound white. Like, what does that even mean? I sound educated? Mm-hmm. So how would you say to a younger biracial person, like, it's okay not to be quote unquote black enough or white enough, but to encourage them in that so they don't get discouraged? Because like Kiana said, like, none of you chose this life. It's the life that you've been graced to have and embrace, and that all of you embrace. Sorry.
Thank you, Miss Wilson.
Did you want to start? Oh, I can? Okay. I think, like, if I were to talk to my younger self, I think I would tell myself to not try to impress other people around you, at the end of the day, your story is your story. You're living your life for you. And if people around you can't accept that, then they're just not meant to be there. And also stop trying to straighten your hair because it's not cute.
My turn? What I would say to my younger self, and this is kind of what I would tell myself when I was going through some of those situations, is that, and I would actually tell other kids this, that, you know, I'm not, you can't put me in a box as to how you think I should be or how you think I should act. I'm Haley Webb. I am half black. I'm half white. That's who I am. So I basically, to my younger self, it doesn't really matter what other people think. If you are happy with yourself and yourself on the inside, that's what matters. And if you're making progress with yourself and you're helping other people along the way and you're living a life that is on the right path, then that's what matters. Not focusing on your color or things that really, there's better things to be focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
What I would say to a younger biracial person is just whatever you feel is right in your gut, just go with it. And don't really care about what other people think about you. Just what you think, just go with that.
Thank you. For sure. Yeah. Any other questions at the table for each other? Oh.
I have a question.
Oh. Of course.
One takeaway that if you could give our listeners, right, one takeaway, what would you all say that while you all said embrace it, like what did you all do when those times got tough? Because I'm sure it sounds like none of you have biracial parents. So this is something that you learned on the fly, if I'm not mistaken. Like what was that tough moment? Just one tough moment, because they said we only got a minute and 32 seconds left. So it was just one tough moment if you reflect back on in your life.
Does someone want to go first? Because I don't have one right now.
Like you want a moment that really like was hurtful?
Yeah.
Like a moment that really, like, I assume, I could never put myself in your shoes. I assume you all, at some point in your life, you knew you were biracial. But, like, what was that moment to, like, wow, like, I really am different, so to speak, than what I've seen in my family or what, like, my friends may look like? Like, what was that eye-opening moment or that tough moment where you was like, okay, like, I've embraced this. This is making me embrace it. And that may be too deep of a question, too, so.
Well, it's kind of hard to pinpoint, like, the moment that you realize that. I just, as I started in high school, as time started going, I just realized, you know what? This isn't something people are making this out to be negative, but really this is a positive. My background and part of being a part of two different cultures is a great thing. It's not a negative thing that some people like to spin it to.
You have to hand it to
I was going to hand you the mic. I forgot.
I don't think that there was one specific moment, because I feel like things like that kind of just take time and different experiences with different people. I feel like it was really just like a self-talk thing, like not a specific person doing something. It was kind of just like telling myself, like, you don't have to like downgrade yourself or make yourself feel less than or less worthy because of what other people may think about you. And like, if other people aren't going to treat you with respect, then you treat yourself with respect, and you don't give them the satisfaction of knowing that what they're saying is hurting you. So I think when I really started to embrace myself was when I was in 8th grade. I went to Gifford, so it was like an all-white school. And that was my chance to be different than everyone else and like step outside of the standard. And yeah.
I didn't know that like I was really that different until I got onto TikTok.
Hey, shout out to TikTok. Sponsor us.
Cause
No cap.
my whole life,
That's irrelevant right now.
Right.
I'm trying-
She's trying to tell her
I'm trying to
story.
get us sponsored. My bad.
My whole life, I've considered myself black. Everybody around me has. And when I got on TikTok, they were saying things like biracial people aren't really black and stuff. And, like, I was, like, confused because I've always been black to myself and to my family and stuff. And I see things like talking about biracial people with white moms, and I have a white mom. And, like, they talk about, and it's biracial people with black moms, and they, like, think we're, like, less than and stuff. But I didn't go through those experiences, so I feel like I kind of get offended when they say that, because I know, like, I'm a different type of biracial person, because I do have a white mom, but I grew up with my black family instead of my white family. And so, like, when they say, like, bad things about people with white moms, like, they're all white and stuff, and, like, they do this and do that, like, I'm like, I don't do that. So it's like...
Definitely. Thank you.
You got any more questions? Are you gonna object again?
No, I'm just trying to get us sponsored.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so TikTok, definitely, you see a lot of stuff that relates to you on TikTok. TikTok sponsor us, Racine Case BSU. That's
Can I jump in with a question?
yeah.
So y'all talked about how, like, what would you say to your younger self or somebody else that's younger than you and is going through the same thing? What would you say to the people that are judging y'all for being biracial and that would have something negative to say about, you know, someone who's biracial in any way, whether black or white or something else? What would you say to those people that are judging?
I would say, like, if you're not really biracial, like, you wouldn't understand, so you don't really can have a say on it. So, like, just, like, probably try to stay away from that topic and let us deal with it.
So I just want to make sure I understand the question right. So what would you say to people who are judging others?
For being biracial, yeah. Somebody makes a comment to you, you know, it's all called you happy or whatever it is you might say. What would you tell them to help them get a better understanding?
Well, this is my perspective more as an adult and in the position I'm in, but that definitely sounds like a teaching moment, because either that person's trying to hurt you, or when you think about it, sometimes people actually go home to families that use language like that, and they don't realize that that is actually wrong. So sometimes kids do know it's wrong and they're doing it to hurt you, and sometimes kids don't realize it because that's the way that they grew up. So moments like that are teachable moments, and that's like the first step, having the conversation. And then if it continues, then there's other steps that need to be taken. But first, think of it as something like, hey, speak up, don't let it pass. If you need an adult to help you figure out the situation, but don't just let it go. People need to be educated.
Okay. I would say, first of all, your lack of self-respect is astonishing.
Hey, that's dope. That's gonna go viral.
Make that a meme right now.
Yeah.
I think that for you to even say something to someone like that, it's just really insane to me. Like, you grow up in this big world with so many different people, and you still have yet to figure out that, like, there's not just one race, or there's not just, like, one type of biracial person. And I saw this one thing. It was like, you're not born racist. You're shown that, or you have you have the inability to learn differently. And because you're so stuck in your ways, you don't want to learn it differently. And that's the issue. Like, if you really cared about other people and their feelings, then you would take the steps to actually change. And if you don't want to change, then you're very selfish.
I'm not biracial, but I would just say educate yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, as anything, people oftentimes talk about what they don't know about, and then you misspeak. So the best thing to do in circumstance and situation where you don't know and you think that because, you know, there's stereotypes in everything that you look at, there's a stereotype for it. And if you want to believe it, you can believe it. But if you want to educate yourself to be well-rounded and to have a conversation, that's where these tough conversations play into that, right?
I agree, definitely.
We gonna go viral because of you. I see you out here.
Is she going crazy? Everybody at the table, y'all lit.
You wanted a pound? I see you reach.
Did
Did y'all see this? He went like this.
it was just out there for a little minute, just in case somebody was gonna see it. It's cool.
All right.
Yeah.
I ain't want to leave you hanging.
I appreciate it. That's love. All right, I think that's the end for our tough topics today. I appreciate y'all for coming. Racine Case BSU, Instagram.
Where can they find y'all at?
Follow us. We can find us in the building.
Yeah, in the building. In the building. Where can they find us? Where y'all handshake at that?
No, you ruined it.
24? Okay. Room 124. And kind of like the science hallway for freshmen. The freshman science hallway. Or that's regular science too, ain't it?
I don't know.
All the science. Yeah. So, yeah, just.
At Case BSU on TikTok.
Oh, we got a TikTok?
We have a TikTok?
Brand new.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, we lit. TikTok's coming soon. Tune in.
What group you know with the TikTok?
That's what I'm saying. Shout out to all of our staff and supporters as well. Mr. Holden, Miss Webb, Miss Day, Corey Prince,
Mr. Mosley.
Mr. Mosley.
Thanks for the pizza, man.
Thanks for the pizza. We have a lot of other supporters. Mr. Nunn.
Our camera crew.
Camera
Shout
crew.
out to
We do
them.
appreciate the camera crew.
Mr. Guzman.
Anthony does go crazy. What?
It's time to wrap it up.
All right. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all for listening. BSU out. I like it.